There is a species of fish that will drown if you leave it underwater for too long. At the bottom of the polar seas, columns of ice known as the fingers of death are silently creeping toward creatures that cannot flee in time. And that saying breakfast is the most important meal of the day, it may well be the biggest lie you believe every morning. 3 stories, 1 paradoxical truth. Everyone has seen plenty of ice by now. But there is one kind of ice that few people have ever heard of, first discovered by scientists back in the 1960s, right beneath the sea ice at the poles. When seawater freezes, salt is expelled from the ice crystals, forming a stream of water that is extremely dense, extremely salty, and much colder than the surrounding water. The extremely low temperature of this stream of water causes ice to instantly form around it, creating hollow ice columns shaped like fingers. Just as water on land always flows to low-lying places, this super salty current creeps along the seabed until it settles in the deepest hollow. Slow-moving bottom-dwelling creatures like starfish and sea urchins, if they fail to crawl away in time, will be caught by these very fingers of death and freeze to death. The good news is that the finger of death can't always reach the bottom. The current must not flow too strongly, lest it snap the ice column, and if the sea is too deep, the ice column will shatter under its own weight before it can reach the bottom. Now to the dining table. Somehow, without anyone noticing when, something as small as breakfast has turned into a fiercely debated topic, splitting people into 3 camps. One camp worships breakfast. Another camp thinks it's just a gimmick deified by corporations to sell cereal. And a third camp, half believing and half doubting, wearily searches for the answer. This truth, saying that breakfast is more special, or that skipping it harms your health, has no scientific basis at all. But eating breakfast does have a few real benefits. The first benefit sounds like a paradox: eating breakfast can actually help you lose more weight than people who skip it. Because skipping breakfast makes people overeat at dinner to compensate. An evening calorie is no fattier than a morning one. But when you're ravenous at night, you eat more than your body needs, and that surplus gradually forms a spare tire around your waist. In 2013, researchers divided overweight women into 2 groups. One group ate breakfast like a king and dinner like a beggar, the other group did the opposite. The total calories were exactly the same. After 3 months, despite equal calories, the group that ate a bigger breakfast lost more weight and reduced their waist circumference significantly more. It sounds like the answer is in. But that's when every calorie is tightly controlled in a laboratory. In real life, no one sits around counting calories at every meal. And when a genuinely randomized study is conducted, the result flips. An analysis of 13 studies published in the British Medical Journal found that people who habitually eat breakfast, when forced to skip it, on average ate about 260 fewer calories per day. They were also lighter by about a pound. It turned out that the people who skipped breakfast actually ate less over the whole day, not more. The truth is, whether you lose weight or not depends on your total daily calorie intake, whether there's a surplus to be converted into fat, not on whether you eat breakfast or not. Even so, for manual laborers toiling away from morning, breakfast is still extremely necessary. And at least 6 studies show that skipping breakfast increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And what about the metabolism-boosting breakfast? After eating anything, the body burns extra calories to digest it, even fast food or soda does the same. Breakfast has no special magic of its own. In short, breakfast is not something sacred. If you enjoy it and feel good, then eat it. If you don't like it but are still fine, then that's perfectly okay too. The final story. People often use the comparison like a fish in water, because a fish's life is bound to water, and some species even look completely dried out yet come back to life the moment you pour water on them. But there is a fish that defies that rule. It will drown if kept underwater for too long. That strange fish is the lungfish. The lungfish is an anomalous creature. It is a fish, yet it has lungs instead of a swim bladder, and evolutionarily, it is the closest relative of all 4-legged animals. Its ancestors appeared around 410 million years ago. Many scientists believe the lungfish is a relative of the first creatures that crawled onto land and eventually evolved into us, including the famous Tiktaalik, which lived about 375 million years ago. Their lungs consist of countless tiny air sacs to absorb oxygen, so efficiently that their gills gradually atrophy and can no longer sustain the body. That is why lungfish are forced to continually surface to breathe air. The African lungfish lives in areas that regularly dry up, so it secretes a layer of mucus around its body, which dries into a cocoon, and it slumbers inside it for an entire year. When life becomes too harsh, the lungfish burrows down into the mud, drastically slowing its metabolism, and even breaking down some of its own muscle to survive in a deep sleep that lasts up to 4 years. 3 stories, 1 lesson: nature and real science are always stranger than any rumor. The most fascinating truths often lie right where we think we already know for sure.